Florida's housing dream has crumbled into a nightmare few ever imagined. In 2025, the Sunshine State's once booming real estate markets are buried beneath an avalanche of listings. The surge in inventory isn't just large, it's historic. In some cities, supply is up 500%, in others 800%, and in the most extreme cases, over a staggering 1,000%. Homes that sold for $300,000 in 2020 and soared to nearly $500,000 during the 2022 frenzy are now collapsing in value, erasing $70,000, $100,000, even $150,000 from family wealth. Condo towers are slashing prices by six figures and still sitting empty for months. Insurance premiums have shot past $12,000 a year, while HOA fees topping $1,000 a month are pushing owners to the brink of financial collapse. This isn't a correction, it's a full-blown implosion. And tonight, we're counting down the 10 Florida housing markets falling the fastest and the hardest. If you care about the real estate market, hit subscribe, because what's happening next will shock you. Number 10, Panama City. Once a laid-back Gulf Coast getaway where turquoise waters and short-term rentals attracted a flood of investors, Panama City is now drowning in for sale signs. From 2019 to 2022, home prices surged nearly 65%, climbing from $215,000 to $355,000 as investors chased Airbnb and post-hurricane rebuild opportunities. But by 2025, the script flipped. Active listings have skyrocketed nearly 300% year over year, leaving sellers desperate. A cozy three-bedroom bungalow that sold for $325,000 in 2022 now struggles to attract buyers at $260,000, a punishing 20% drop. Waterfront condos have been cut by $50,000 to $70,000 and still sit untouched. Insurance premiums, once at $6,000, have climbed another 30%, and homes now linger on the market for more than 120 days. Even cash-ready retirees are holding back. Tourism is softening, rentals are vacant, and investors are bleeding cash on empty properties. With nearly 8 months of supply, up from just 1.5 months in 2021, Panama City's unsold inventory has ballooned 430%, choking the market. Builders once boasting about endless demand now dangle free appliances, rate buy-downs, and home upgrades just to spark interest. The fallout extends beyond housing. Restaurants, service workers, and small businesses that thrived during the boom are watching foot traffic vanish. Rental investors are walking away, neighborhoods are dotted with for rent signs, and equity that families counted on has evaporated overnight. For locals, it feels like the tide went out and never came back. For buyers, bargains now come with a warning. Panama City isn't cooling, it's collapsing. Number 9, Fort Myers. Once one of Southwest Florida's hottest real estate success stories, Fort Myers now bears the scars of overbuilding and reckless speculation. Between 2019 and 2022, median home prices skyrocketed from $235,000 to nearly $400,000, fueled by retirees, out-of-state buyers, and investors betting on endless demand. But by 2025, that confidence has shattered. Active listings are up nearly 380%. Rising from under 1,000 to over 4,000 homes. A suburban three-bedroom once commanding $370,000 now sits unsold at $305,000. Waterfront condos, once the prize of bidding wars, are now being chopped by $75,000 to $100,000 and still go 180 days without offers. Developers desperate to move new builds are offering $25,000 discounts, free closing costs, and mortgage buy-downs to hesitant buyers. Since Hurricane Ian, insurance premiums have spiked, averaging $5,800 annually, with coastal homes paying far more. Add rising property taxes and HOA fees, and affordability has been gutted. Airbnb investors who once viewed Fort Myers as a goldmine are now watching rental rates plunge nearly 20% year over year. The result? Streets lined with half-occupied homes, quiet subdivisions, and price-reduced banners fluttering in the Gulf breeze. Builders who once sold out before breaking ground now sit on entire blocks of unsold properties. With 9 months of inventory and no relief in sight, Fort Myers has flipped from a seller's paradise to a buyer's battlefield, and what was once a symbol of resilience has become a cautionary tale. Number 8, Bradenton. Tucked along Florida's sun coast just south of Tampa Bay, Bradenton was one of the pandemic's brightest stars. Between 2019 and 2022, home prices soared from $240,000 to nearly $420,000, a jaw-dropping 75% rise. Builders flooded the area with new subdivisions and gleaming condo towers. But in 2025, that dream is unraveling fast. Active listings have ballooned 350%, jumping from 1,200 to more than 5,000 homes. Buyers have vanished, sellers are slashing prices, and equity is evaporating. A four-bedroom home that once fetched $450,000 now struggles to sell for $370,000. Riverfront condos are down by $50,000, and new constructions with 10% discounts and free upgrades still sit empty. Insurance premiums have more than doubled, rising from $3,200 in 2020 to nearly $6,800 in 2025. Coastal owners are paying $10,000 a year, and HOA fees above $400 are adding insult to injury. Homes that once sold in under 2 weeks now linger 150 days or more. Bradenton's inventory has swelled to 9 months of supply, a catastrophic number that screams buyer's market. For locals who stretched thin during the boom, this crash already feels worse than 2008. Neighborhoods once bustling with new families are frozen in place, sellers cutting prices week after week, while cautious buyers wait for deeper discounts. Investors have fled, leaving half-finished projects and vacant condos behind. Once a rising Suncoast jewel, Bradenton now stands as a sobering reminder: no housing boom lasts forever. Number 7. Palm Beach County. From West Palm Beach to Boca Raton, Palm Beach County once felt untouchable. Between 2019 and 2022, prices nearly doubled from $330,000 to $600,000. But in 2025, the cracks are showing everywhere. Inventory has surged 320%, jumping from 3,000 homes to over 12,500. Luxury condos once selling for $1.2 to $2 million are relisting at $950,000 and still sitting for 200 days. Mid-tier homes that fetched $525,000 in Lake Worth now struggle at $430,000, racing $100,000 in equity. Insurance premiums have doubled to around $9,000 a year, and coastal owners face bills topping $15,000. HOA fees after hurricane repairs now exceed $1,200 a month. Even rental investors are bailing. Rents that once brought in $3,200 have slipped to $2,700. Beneath these numbers lies a harsher truth. Palm Beach's glamorous condo towers are dotted with empty units and fading sold-out signs. Restaurants and boutiques, reliant on seasonal residents, are suffering as buyers retreat. Builders in the western suburbs have slashed base prices by $30,000 to $50,000, yet model homes stand deserted. With 10 months of supply, its highest in decades, Palm Beach's famed luxury image is fracturing. What was once Florida's most exclusive zip code is turning into a financial trap for families and retirees alike. Number 6. Orlando. Orlando, the city of dreams and theme parks, has lost its magic. From 2019 to 2022, home prices jumped from $260,000 to $450,000, a stunning 73% climb. But in 2025, the boom has busted. Inventory has exploded 320%, rising from 4,000 to over 17,000 homes. Entire neighborhoods built for Disney workers and retirees now sit half empty. The median price has slipped to $395,000, wiping out $55,000 in equity. A home in Lake Nona, once worth $500,000, now lists for $420,000. Condos near International Drive are down 20%, from $300,000 to $240,000. Yet sit unsold for 6 months. Over 40% of listings in Orange County have already been reduced. Insurance premiums have climbed to $6,200 a year, while HOA fees over $350 a month crush affordability. Streets that once overflowed with moving trucks and construction are eerily silent. Rental investors counting on tourism-driven demand are seeing returns evaporate as median rents slip from $2,300 to just over $2,050. Builders are offering pools, $25,000 incentives, and mortgage buydowns, but homes remain unsold. With 9 months of supply, Orlando has flipped from fantasy to financial frustration. A market that once symbolized opportunity, now struggling under the weight of oversupply and fading demand. Number 5, Jacksonville. Jacksonville, Florida's sprawling metro and a symbol of pandemic migration, has hit a breaking point. Between 2019 and 2022, home prices rocketed from $215,000 to $375,000, a 74% leap fueled by remote workers and investors. But in 2025, the momentum has vanished. Active listings have exploded 280% year over year, from 5,000 to over 19,000 homes, one of the steepest jumps in the state. Median prices have already fallen 4% in just a year, the first real drop in over a decade. A typical 4-bedroom once selling for $400,000 now goes for $345,000. Downtown condos along the St. Johns River are down $40,000 to $60,000, and still unsold for months. Days on market have tripled, and more than a third of listings have seen price cuts. Builders are throwing in $20,000 incentives, free upgrades, and even temporary 4% mortgage buy-downs to move inventory. Yet the flood keeps growing. Insurance now averages $5,200, up 45% since 2021, and property taxes near 1.7% are crushing first-time buyers. Investors hoping for strong rental returns are trapped with stagnant rents around $1,650. Neighborhoods that once buzzed with moving trucks are now lined with unsold homes and anxious sellers. With 8 months of supply and rising, Jacksonville's slowdown isn't gradual. It's unraveling into one of Florida's sharpest corrections in decades. Number 4, Miami. Long hailed as the crown jewel of Florida real estate, Miami is now the epicenter of the state's collapse. Between 2019 and 2022, median condo prices rocketed from $350,000 to $620,000, a blistering 77% surge driven by foreign buyers, tech migrants, and speculators. But by 2025, the tide has violently reversed. Inventory has exploded from 7,000 to 27,000 listings, a 280% surge in just 2 years. Condos that once ignited bidding wars are in fire sale mode. One-bedroom units listed for $550,000 now linger at $440,000. Luxury waterfront homes in Sunny Isles have been cut by $150,000 to $200,000, still waiting 200-plus days to sell. Nearly half of all Miami listings have faced price reductions. Insurance premiums have soared above $10,000 annually, with some owners paying up to $18,000 after new assessments. HOA fees in upscale towers now exceed $1,500 a month. Rents that once reached $3,200 are down to $2,750, forcing landlords into giveaways. Beneath the glitter, Miami's market is cracking from its own excess. Investors from Latin America, New York, and Europe are rushing to unload. Developers who once sold entire towers before breaking ground now sit on empty floors. With 11 months of supply, Miami isn't cooling, it's crashing, turning America's most glamorous market into its most fragile. Number 3, Cape Coral. Once marketed as Florida's boating paradise, Cape Coral has become one of its biggest real estate casualties. Between 2019 and 2020, home prices surged 82% from $230,000 to $420,000 as retirees and investors flooded in. But by 2025, the market has imploded. In zip code 33993, listings exploded from 80 to more than 800, a shocking 1,000% surge. Median home prices that once hit $410,000 have fallen to $340,000. 3-bedroom canal homes once worth $450,000 now sit unsold at $360,000 despite repeated cuts. Builders in the Northwest Quadrant are offering $50,000 incentives and still can't move inventory. After Hurricane Ian, insurance premiums surpassed $9,000 a year. Waterfront properties exceeding $12,000, with rising taxes and HOA fees adding to the burden. Streets that once shimmered with new construction are now half empty, lined with for sale and for rent signs. Investors banking on snowbird rentals are bleeding thousands monthly. Over 42% of active listings have seen markdowns, and days on market have tripled. With nearly 11 months of supply, Cape Coral isn't just falling, it's free-falling, transforming from paradise into an equity graveyard. Number 2, Naples. Once the crown jewel of Florida's luxury coast, Naples is finally facing its reckoning. Between 2019 and 2022, home prices exploded from $430,000 to over $800,000, fueled by Wall Street cash and pandemic migration. But in 2025, the bubble has burst. Inventory has surged 250%, jumping from 2,500 listings to more than 8,700. Million-dollar estates that sold in days now slash $150,000 to $250,000 and still sit for over 220 days. Condos along Gulf Shore Boulevard that once peaked at $1.1 million now linger at $875,000. Even the ultra-wealthy are watching equity vanish. Insurance premiums in Collier County now average $12 to $15, with waterfront homes exceeding $25,000. HOA fees in luxury towers have climbed beyond $1,800 a month after storm repairs. Seasonal rents once fetching $15,000 a month now barely reach $11,000. The pain isn't just financial, it's psychological. Naples was supposed to be bulletproof, a haven for the elite. Now, even wealthy buyers hesitate, waiting for steeper discounts. Realtors whisper about silent listings, overpriced properties they don't bother to show. With over 10 months of supply, Naples has shifted from one of America's hottest luxury markets to one of its most oversupplied. Proof that even wealth can't defy economic gravity. Number 1. Tampa. Once the poster child for Florida's growth, Tampa now sits at the epicenter of the state's housing collapse. Between 2019 and 2022, home prices soared 72% from $250,000 to $430,000. But by 2025, the market has reversed, brutally. Inventory has exploded nearly 400%, from 4,500 homes to more than 22,000. Median prices have fallen to $380,000, wiping out $50,000 in equity. Suburban homes, once worth $475,000, now sit unsold at $390,000. Downtown condos that sold for $600,000 are now down to $480,000, a crushing 20% drop. Nearly half of all listings in Hillsborough and Pinellas counties have already seen price cuts. Insurance premiums average $7,500, with flood zone properties climbing into 5 figures. Property taxes around 2% and HOA fees near $400 a month are suffocating owners. Investors are fleeing as rents slide from $2,400 to just over $2,050. Subdivisions that once overflowed with new families are now half empty. Builders who used to sell homes before breaking ground are stuck with hundreds of unsold units, dangling $30,000 discounts just to move product. Local businesses are slowing too, caught in the undertow of collapsing confidence. With nearly 11 months of supply, Tampa has flipped from boomtown to bust town. The city once held up as Florida's housing gold rush is now ground zero for its collapse, and the bottom is nowhere in sight. Florida's housing market, once the envy of the nation, a paradise for retirees, a playground for investors, and a dream for families, has cracked wide open. Panama City's drowning rental market to Tampa's unsold subdivisions, the story is the same. Inventory is exploding, equity is evaporating, and rising insurance and HOA fees are suffocating even the wealthiest owners. This isn't a short-term dip. It's a full-scale housing reset, unlike anything since 2008. The collapse is spreading across luxury enclaves, suburban tracts, and coastal retreats alike, proving that no corner of the Sunshine State is safe. For homeowners, it's a devastating loss of wealth. For buyers, it's a battlefield where bargains come with risk. And for the rest of America, it's a warning shot. When the nation's hottest real estate market freezes, the shockwaves can travel everywhere. So the question isn't just what happens next in Florida, it's could your city be next? Stay ahead of the storm. Subscribe to our channel for more countdowns, deep dives, and the stories shaping America's future.